you're generating 5 figures a month, whether that's 10k, 15k or even 30k, but you cannot tell me with confidence that you're going to make the same amount the next month, then what you have built is a business that is extremely unpredictable, and it exposes to you where the gaps in your business are that should not be ignored. Now, where's my credibility? I've managed to help both of these coaches generate a consistent 30 to 40k months for the past 3 months straight. And one of the biggest factors of that is a whole other side of a coaching business that you're definitely not paying attention to. Now, in every successful business, there's a 3-stage growth cycle that forms the entirety of what scales that business. You have your acquisition, your ascension, and your retention. Acquisition brings in new leads for you. Ascension maximizes the initial value of each of those leads. And retention builds long-term loyalty with your audience and with your clients that they'll be able to pay you for multiple months, multiple years even down the road. And together, all three maximizes profitability and maximizes a customer's lifetime value. The problem comes when most coaches hyperfixate on just one stage of that growth cycle, which is their acquisition channel, right? That's why they can't seem to hit the consistent months that they are looking for. The problem with only focusing on one and neglecting the other is that if that's the only way you know how to make money and how to generate revenue with your business, and you feel like you are stuck, you feel like you can't take your mind or your time off acquisition, then it's going to continue being like that for the rest of your business, right? Clearly, that shows and that proves to you that you need another source in your business that can generate you money. And that is the retention side, which I'll be explaining more in depth about and how we can set it up specifically for your business. And why it's actually one of the easiest levers that you can pull to generate more revenue. So we will talk more about things like your re-sign rates and why retention is often more profitable and cost effective than having to constantly chase new clients. And if done well, you can easily have a client who has formed a great partnership and even friendship with you and can pay you for multiple months or even years down the road. And I've seen it happen before with one of my clients, Omar, where his client actually has been in his program for 3 years straight. And because she's been in there for so long and had such a great transformation, they have actually offered her a spot to be an assistant coach in their own program. And that became a win-win situation for everybody because now their business has an extra coach where they can have better and better fulfillment going forward. So that's just one example of how valuable it can be when you have a really solid re-sign process and you have a really solid way of retaining your clients in your program. So this video will be showing you more about the retention side of things instead of the usual acquisition that you see every other YouTube videos out there. This is going to show you the whole other side of a coaching business that you are neglecting. Okay, it's gonna be about how you can build your backend offer and everything you need to know about how to set it up. Now you have to understand, okay, there's revenue sitting right there in your business that you are probably missing out on. If you have 10, 20, 30 or whatever number of clients who has been through your program before, even your current clients, but you have no system, you have no way for them to step into a backend offer, then you are definitely sitting on the easiest pile of money that you could have made. Now, to put it into perspective for you, if you're doing high-ticket coaching where your packages are anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, okay, assuming it's on the lower end, if you have had 10 past clients before, but you had no back-end structure, okay, you had no way for them to actually continue being in your program, that means you have 10 potential missed resigns, which equals to 10 times $3,000, which is $30,000 worth of potential revenue loss right there. Now, it's the same thing for if you had 20 clients, right? If you had 20 clients, that's $60,000 of potential revenue loss. Now with 30 clients, that's almost 6 figures worth, right? That's $90,000 potentially lost just because you did not have a backend offer. You didn't have clear structure for your clients to stay in your program and continue extracting value from it. Now understand this, okay? The hardest sale that you ever get is always going to be cold strangers, people that don't even know who you are that well, and just people that will give a lot of resistance and pushback against, you know, joining your program or even booking a call with you. Easiest sale is always going to be the clients who has already done the work, it's already been nurtured by you, by your content, by you as a person in your DMs, right? They have just been nurtured for them to say yes to joining your program initially. These are the same people that you have the easiest time getting them to say yes and continuing with your program. That's one of a perspective shift that I want you to have, and just to understand that your current clientele, okay, there's so much potential there for you to continue helping them, and of course being a mutual thing where they'll pay you for your services to continue coaching them. Let me first establish, before I continue, what doesn't exist can't be sold. Okay, firstly, a good mentor is always going to tell you, yo, what doesn't exist cannot be sold. Okay, I know some of you guys watching this probably don't even have a backend offer yourself. You have no continuation package or any resale packages, right? You just label it as If you want to continue, you can. If you can't even subconsciously sell them on a continuation package with high conviction, how can you actually expect them to want to continue with your program, right? So imagine if every client of yours that comes to you, you already know what you have on the back end and you're already assuming that they are going to join the backend offer, how much easier do you think it is to sell them that continuation, right? And this is just a foundation, right? From a thought process point of view, that's already there, right? It's existent to you. If it's existent to you, you can start actualizing that offer in people's mind, and it's just the beginning, right? Now, here's the thing. Your clients need to have seeds planted in their brain from day one, okay? A big part of it is the timing and the psychology behind why planting seeds into your client's brain is going to get them to join your offer eventually, right? One of the most common mistakes that I see is even the coaches that do have a backend offer, where they mess up is always by pitching at the end. Okay, they'll wait until the very end to bring it up to their clients, and by then it will feel like a sales pitch. Your clients will feel like you're just trying to get money out of them, and they haven't had time to think about it. They haven't had time to really sit with the thought and the decision that this or you are the right person for them to continue for, you know, X amount of months. So the key thing here is you have to establish the standard from the start, from the get-go, okay? And so a good way you can go about it is whenever you are talking to your clients or you have check-in calls on text with them, you want to always establish the fact that, so once we achieve this 20 pounds off, for example, right? Once we get this 20 pounds off, you know, we are going to want to do something else past that point, right? And you want to explain it really subtly and just plant the seeds in their brain and waiting for that plant to grow, right? And it grows and it grows and it grows, and as they achieve their goals, at least now they know that there's something else coming up after that, right? The worst thing you can do with a prospect, again, is to just not tell them at all until the end. If it's the end of the journey and then you bring it up, they're gonna feel like you're trying to convince them, you're trying to pressure them into doing something that they have not or never thought about doing. So what a really smooth process looks like is the clients, they will naturally join your backend offer and then continue with you. They are the ones who from the get-go, they never feel like they are pitched, okay? They already think about continuing from day one, from week one, and they see this next step with you as the natural thing to do because you have been a big part of their lifestyle already. They have gotten results from it, they've gotten good transformation, they've gotten good guidance from you and accountability. They don't want to change that, they want to continue working with you. At the end of the day, it will feel like it's their idea to choose to continue working with you. Now, how do you actually plant the seed in your client's brain? I think this perspective will help you a lot, but if you can understand that their goal was never the 16 weeks or however long the duration of the program is, and that their goal is their life, okay? They join your coaching program not because they want to be in shape for the next 4 to 6 months, right? They want to be in shape for life. This 4 to 6 months is just the beginning. If you can drill it to them, like once we hit this first goal, what is it that we want to keep building from there? What is the next step? What is past that point? Because if you can have that seed planted in their brain, when you do bring up your offer, when you do pitch them on a continuation package, it's gonna make sense for them. It's gonna feel very natural. And one advice I can give you is don't make it such a big deal in the first week, especially because most likely your clients are still dealing with the buyer's remorse, right? And it's just something that I've noticed and something that you should be more aware of. But in general, you should always, during your check-in calls especially, plant the seeds of what is the next steps, right? You don't have to be super direct about it. You don't have to say, oh yeah, by the end of the 16 weeks, you know, we're gonna have this call talking about the continuation package. It's more so after we achieve this and we work towards this, you know, I really want you to start practicing and asking yourself, what do you want next? Think about it this way. My job is to never convince, okay? My job is to only get you to see it. And if that's what you see, then we are gonna work together on it. And I know nobody wants to hear this, but yeah, there's no system, right? Your business is determined by the quality of the experience of your clients. So from a coaching standpoint, one thing to always keep in mind to allow for resigns really well is to make it a mission to remind everybody that this is not the end, okay? It's to convey to the fact that whatever you're achieving now is only the beginning to the next thing. And as long as your coaching and your fitness coaching program is not just about nutrition, it's not just about training, it's actually about impacting their lives, you're going to be needed and valued in their eyes, because 80% of your program, in my opinion, should do a lot with just shifting their beliefs and their mindset and their attitude and just helping them raise their floor and their ceiling for not just fitness but in other areas of their life too, right? So with those two things being established, I want to now talk about the problem that a lot of you are probably making right now, which is the fact that most of you just have one program, one price, one outcome, and when a client finishes your duration of the program, again, there's nothing else for them to step into. There is no clear direction or a system or another program that they can just go into, right? The relationship with you and them just ends there. The missing piece that you have to fill in is understanding what does the client step into next. Okay, what I would recommend, and something that I've seen works really well, is a progression ladder. So this first of all requires you to sit down, okay, really sit down and try to map out what your client's journey is, right? Even outside of fitness, outside of the initial promise that your program is about, what happens, right? Understand and build up what happens after they do complete the initial phase of the program. Define what a client gets when they continue, not if they continue, okay? What they get. Because if you can do this, you're putting yourself in a better perspective of looking at it that way. So some things that you want to plan and ask yourself is, define what is that program gonna look like. How much does it cost? What is the actual outcome that you want for this continuation program, right? The structure of it. How long is it gonna be? What is included in this program? How it's different from the initial one? Understanding also when to bring it up, how do you want to frame it, how it feels for them if they actually continued the program. And I'll give you an example, okay, like point of view, you're my client. So for me, I work with fitness coaches one-on-one, and we scale the business, from zero anywhere up to 30k plus to 40, 50k. So taking this as an example, phase one will be, us making your first 10k online. So phase two will be us, now making consistent 10k plus months online. And third phase is 20k, and then fourth phase is like 30 to 50k a month with a team. And then fifth phase will be us trying to hit that same 30 to 50k months, but with the least amount of effort. Okay, and after that, it's just scaling to 50 to 100k a month. So in each of these phases, there are going to be deliverables, and there are going to be actual steps and structure within each that will help my clients get to their goals, will help them climb each of these phases, right? So just being able to break it down like this and have a clearer path for my clients to see, okay, if they are here right now, what are the things that they need to do from here to here. So just having clarity on this and being able to explain and give your clients what they exactly need is going to make it so much easier and so much more smooth for them to continue with you. And I'll do an example for a fitness offer, okay? If let's say using this same 6 phases, right? The first phase of your fitness can be like establishing a routine, right? The second one can be your clients adjusting to a new way of living. The third one can be enjoying the process while progressing towards their goals, and this can be building lifelong habits. The next stage can be optimizing fitness to improve on other areas or other aspects of their life. And then lastly, I think the most important part is just having your clients understand that fitness is a lifestyle and that accountability is part of it. Accountability is part of their journey. If you can get them to understand that, then it will be a no-brainer for them to continue working with the person who has gotten them the results so far. So what this progression ladder creates is you will have a clear idea there is even a progression in the first place, right? Your client has a path through the years of continuing with you, and eventually your revenue is going to compound over time, and it will become an ecosystem now, instead of just transaction where they'll pay you in the initial agreement and then after that you guys just go your own ways, right? If you don't have an approach like this, you are always going to be starting from zero month after month, right? Yes, you're going to sign clients, you're going to get people through your acquisition channels, but if you have to constantly rely on that and you have no income on the back end side of things with your current clients, then it is very hard for you to scale consistently and be able to hit those months consistently. What that ladder looks like for you is understanding like what does a deeper transformation look like for your client. Okay, what does your involvement look like at each of their stage? So a quick example, right? For the first 3 months, it can be to try to hit your first goal, setting the foundations, establishing trust with your clients, and planting the seeds, right? Planting the seeds from the very get-go. The 6 months mark, it can be this next layer of transformation, doing deeper work with them, pushing that momentum forward, and eventually re-signing them into this continuation package or deeper offer. And then eventually you want to reach a point where this is your goal, right? You want people to work with you for years and years and years. This is the life level change that you can have with your clients and build that relationship and just be a part of their lifestyle, be a part of their identity. Okay, you are their long-term coach at this point. And last thing that I want to go over is understanding what actually drives loyalty with your clients. What is the things that you can leverage on, that you can do to maximize the chances of your clients actually enjoying working with you and wanting to continue working with you. Now, the first one and the most important one is the relationships that you're building with them. Okay, when people continue long term with you, it's never about the meal plan, it's never really about the workout split or all of that. What actually creates the re-signs is the relationship that you have built. It's the way you hold them to a higher standard, it's the way you show up on calls with them, it's the way you help them solve their problems, you listen to their problems. For a lot of fitness coaches, you guys are like therapists for your clients, to be honest. Yes, the meal plan, the diet, the training, all of that matters to them, right? It is important, but at a certain point, like, they just know what to do already and they'll just follow it, right? The main thing is, if they can't implement those things that you have given to them, that's where you are also responsible and you need to step up to help them reach the implementation. So what a lot of fitness coaches think their clients are buying is the meal plans, right? The training blocks, the programming, the deliverables. But what actually keeps them into long-term clients is, you being able to help them become more confident in themselves, being able to shift their mindset and their perspective on things, how they show up not just for themselves but for the people around them, for them at their workplace, feeling like they're part of something. It can be a community of your other clients, it can be feeling of you and them really having a strong connection. And lastly, if they feel like nobody else can deliver this level of quality or this level of standard that you can for them, they are going to want to continue working with you. Okay, now the second thing is a genuine experience. If you can provide them a really strong experience that is impressionable and that they don't want to walk away from, that's where you have done a really great job. That's where you have given them a great time and great value in their investment into you, right? The best backend systems, okay, they are the ones who knows how to do this best. And I'll give you an example, right? So again, back to my client Omar, who is so great at doing this. He has close to a 70 to 80% re-sign rate with his clientele, okay? And it is a testament of how good of a coach he is, right? But one of the things that he did with his clients is, because he mainly targets female corporate workers, during Valentine's Day this year, he actually booked out a place for them and had a little gathering just for the clients themselves, right? And they are able to mingle around with each other, they are able to connect and learn from each other and listen to their stories and listen to each other's stories and like their struggles and whatnot. So it created a really strong bond between, right, just from the clients themselves. And obviously that will leave a great impression on Omar as a coach and how much he actually cares about his clients, right? And I understand you might not be able to replicate that at that scale, right? But another example I can give you, which is simpler, is one of my other client, Kieran, right? The way he stands out with his clients is, if the client lives nearby, maybe even like 1 or 2 hour drive, he will buy them a gym starter pack per se. So it's things like your protein powder, your creatine, your food weighing scale, maybe even throwing lift straps in there. But it is this initiative of him to go and do something nice for his clients that makes him stand out to his clients, right? So imagine how much easier it is for both of them, because they have built so much more trust with you and see that you stand out from a lot of these other fitness coaches out there. Understand this, the best programming, that's easy to replicate, okay? But the best experience, this is where you want to really think about it and like tailor it to your clients, tailor it to how you like to show appreciation to people. Okay, build the experience. If you can build the experience, you build this perception that you are the best person for them, you are the only person for them to have in their corner for their fitness journey. The re-sign conversations with people, it becomes effortless, it becomes really, really straightforward with them. Now, if you have made it to this point of the video and you understand the importance of having someone to locate where your blind spots are, someone who's able to implement all of these things and even beyond into your business, I have a link down below for you to book in a call. I can help you audit your business and your offer and at least point you in the right direction on the call itself. I'm very transparent with people and I genuinely just want to be able to provide value and be able to help you guys out with your business, right? At the end of the day, this is me also showing my expertise and be able to solve your guys' problems, because I hope when you do get to the point where you feel like you can't do it yourself anymore and you really want the extra help and the guidance from someone who has done that for many other fitness coaches before, that's where I know you'll be able to reach out to me and I'm able to help you out too, because I also have a better understanding of where your situation was at when we first had our call. So I look forward to our call and me auditing your business with you. So if you can implement all that, okay, you wouldn't be worried about when your next paycheck will be, okay, and you'll be making money consistently, you'll be scaling consistently, because every new client that comes into your business, it will kickstart the growth of a new customer lifetime value. And this will only grow the foundation of your revenue month after month after month. Now acquisition has a much higher impact because you have a proper backend offer into your business, right? Everybody is now moving through an ecosystem. So if you found this video helpful, understand the importance of having an actual backend offer for your business and to be able to retain as many clients as you can, be able to provide them value, hopefully have them continue signing with you for years and years, you're going to have a way better time and more consistency in actually scaling your offer and scaling your business. So I hope this video helped and you are able to now go and take action, go and implement everything I've said here and everything I've taught here into your own business, right? Have a proper progression ladder with your clients, understand how you can make the experience better for them, right? Understand even planting the seeds right from the get-go. So this is it from me. Peace.